Assalamu alaikum. My name is Hafsa Amir. The topic our group is going to present is Purchaser Provider Split for Education in Pakistan. I'm going to discuss what is Purchaser Provider Split. Purchaser Provider Split is a service delivery model in which third party players are kept organizationally separate from service providers. The operation of the providers are managed by contracts. One of the main aim of PPS is to create competition between providers. Competition and other incentive structures built into the contractual relationship are believed to lead to improvements in service delivery, such as improved cost containment, greater efficiency, organizational flexibility, better quality, and improved responsiveness. It is the arrangement under the unified management system of an organization is split into purchaser who buy goods or services and providers who supply goods or services. The purchaser provider split serves to create an internal market in which true cost of making goods or services are easier to identify and incentives. It is an arrangement that separates the purchaser as the agent who decides what will be produced from the provider as the agent who delivers the agreed outputs and outcomes. Splitting purchaser and provider was initially launched as a policy instrument to enhance competition in the provision of public services and shift political control. PPS is expensive, divisive, and creates artificial division between different parts of the issues faced. The capacity of purchaser provider split to improve person's focus is an important theme in the literature promoting purchaser provider arrangements. For example, purchaser provider arrangements have been proposed as a mean of achieving greater community control over education as community consumer organizations improve their capacity to define outcomes. Similarly, it has been argued that direct contracting of provider services is intended to maximize consumer choice, access, and satisfaction by putting consumers and providers at the center of purchasing process.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Bisma Tariq. The topic that I am going to present is PPS in the Education Department of Pakistan. Private management of public schools. The first form of PPP in the education sector is the private management of public schools. This involves education authorities contracting directly with private providers to operate public schools or certain aspects of public school operations. While these schools are privately managed, they remain publicly owned and publicly funded. Cluster-based training of teachers in Punjab, Pakistan. In Punjab, the PEF operates a cluster-based training of teachers through PPP program. The CBTT program provides professional development for private school teachers with a focus on primary education. Training programs focus on development of teachers' knowledge of content rather than on pedagogical approaches. The training is provided to clusters of schools. Generally speaking, each cluster is made up to 7 to 10 schools and 30 to 35 teachers. Quality advancement and institutional development in private sector schools. Aga Khan Education Services Pakistan operates a program entitled Quality Advancement and Institutional Development in Private Sector Schools. The overall objective of the project is to strengthen the capacity of low-cost private schools so that the education they provide to poorer communities is of high quality and well managed. The focus is also on presenting sustainable models for delivering quality education. Financial assistance per child enrolled basis program Punjab. The Punjab Education Foundation in the Punjab province of Pakistan operates several funding based programs. The largest the financial assistance per children enrolled basis FAS program was established in late 2000. The Punjab Education Foundation in the Punjab province of Pakistan operates several funding based programs. The largest the financial assistance per children enrolled basis FAS program was established in late 2005. It has grown quickly with program coverage increasing from just to 20,000 students in 54 schools in late 2005 to more than 50,000 students in 1157 schools today.
Pros and cons of education system in Pakistan. Pakistan has expressed its commitment to promote education and literacy in the country by education policies by getting involved into international commitments on education. In this regard, international education policies are the vision suggest strategies to increase literacy rate, capacity building, and enhance facilities in the schools and educational institutes. MDGs and EFA programs are global commitments of Pakistan for the promotion of literacy. Review of the education system of Pakistan suggests that there has been little change in Pakistan's school since 2010, when the 18th Amendment enshrined education as a fundamental human right in the Constitution. Problems of the access, quality, infrastructure, and inequality of opportunity remain endemic. Observation outlines seven major problems such as lack of proper planning. Pakistan is a signatory of MDGs and EFA goals. However, it seems that it will not be able to achieve these international commitments because of financial management issues and constraints to achieve the MDGs and EFA goals. Social constraints. It is important to realize the problem which hinder the provision of education are not just due to issue of management by government, but some of them are deeply rooted in the social and cultural orientation of people. Gender gap. Major factors that hinder enrollment rates of girls include poverty, cultural constraints, illiteracy of parents, and parental concerns about safety and mobility of their daughters. Society emphasizes on girl modesty, protection, and early marriages may limit families' willingness to send them to school. Cost of education. The economic cost of higher in private school, but these are located in richer settlements only. The paradox is that private schools are better but not everywhere, and government schools ensure equitable access but not provide quality education. War or terror. Pakistan's engagement in war against terrorism also affected the promotion of literacy campaign. The militants targeted schools and students. Several education institutes were blown up. This may have to contribute not as much as other factors, but this remains an important factor. Funds for education. Pakistan spends 2.4% GDP on education. At national level, 89% education expenditure comprises of current expenses such as teachers' salaries, while only 11% comprises of development expenditure, which is not sufficient to raise quality of education. Technical education. Sufficient attention has not been paid to the technical and vocational education in Pakistan. The number of technical and vocational training institutes is not sufficient, and many are deprived of infrastructure, teachers, and tools for training. The population of a state is one of the main elements of its national power. It can become an asset once it is skilled. Unskilled population mean jobless people in country, which affects the national development negativity. Therefore, technical education needs priority handling by the government. Solutions. There is a need for implementation of national education policy and Vision 2030 education goals. An analysis of education policy suggests that at the policy level there are several admirable ideas, but practically there are some shortcomings also. It may not be possible for the government at the moment to implement a uniform education system in the country, but a uniform curriculum can be introduced in educational institutes of the country. This will provide equal opportunity to the students of rural areas to compete with students of urban areas in the job market. Since education is a provisional subject, the provisional education secretaries need to be strengthened. Special policy planning units should be established in the provinces, educational departments for implementation of educational policies and formulation of new policies whenever needed. Recommendations. Technical education should be made a part of secondary education. Classes of carpentry, electrical, and other technical education must be included in the curriculum. Providing economic incentives to the students may encourage the parents to send their children to school and may help in reducing the dropout ratio. Local government system is helpful in promoting education and literacy in the country. In local government system, the funds for education would be spent on a need basis by the locality. Legislation and structure should be framed to plan for the promotion of education in this country. After the 18th Amendment, the education has become a provisional subject. Therefore, provinces should form legislation and design educational policy which ensure quality education. Counseling of parent is required so that they can choose a career for their child which is market friendly. There are two approaches to acquiring education. First, which is being followed by many in Pakistan, is to get education to earn bread and butter. The second approach is to get education for sake of personal development and learning. This approach is followed by affluent and economically stable people who send their children to private schools and abroad for education. The problem arises when non-sufficient affluent families send their children to private schools and universities. This aspiration for sending children for higher education is wrong because the country does not need managers and officers only. There are several other jobs where people are needed. Hence, the mindset of sending one's children to universities only for becoming officer and managers need to be changed.
Now I'm going to present the topic improvement in the educational sector of the Pakistan. Mainly the improvements in the educational sector of Pakistan divided into two main categories. One is the structural improvements or the improvement in the structure of the educational system, and the second one is the improvement in the syllabus of the Pakistan. First of all, improvements in the structure. Improvements in the structure are further classified into the two type of the improvements. One is the infrastructural improvement and the second one is the administrative improvement. As we are developing nation, so we are facing a huge lack in the infrastructure of the educational system. In rural Pakistan, there is very less infrastructure that directly or indirectly supports educational system of Pakistan. Directly infrastructure that involves in the educational system is the buildings of the school, etc. And indirect system that is the that's roads and other means of the communication for the public or the students so that they can easily access their schools and the educational institutes. In administrative structure, as we know that our administrative structure is very outdated and old fashioned, that's why we are unable to achieve the maximum improvement or the maximum result for the educational system of the Pakistan. And the second type of the improvement that is under consideration in the educational system of the Pakistan is the improvement in the syllabus of Pakistan. The improvement in the syllabus of Pakistan is further divided into two main categories. First one is we have to update our syllabus according to the times, and the second policy that is under consideration in the upgradation of the educational system of Pakistan is the single curriculum all across the nation. Single curriculum all across the nation or all across the Pakistan will help greatly to improve our educational system. As there are the many type of the syllabus that is in practice in Pakistan, they are creating division in the society. That's why the only way to improve our educational system is to propose a single curriculum all across the nation. As Pakistan is also playing its role toward achieving the SDGs of the United Nations. So Pakistan is also improving its educational structure in order to achieve maximum primary and secondary education for all by 2030.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Rimsha, and now I am going to conclude this presentation. Being a developing country and one with an almost exponentially growing population, Pakistan faces all sorts of socio-economic problems, but the underlying cause of these problems is the issue of illiteracy. In Pakistan, the quality of education is a big problem as lack of access to education starting from the primary level. Pakistan needs an extensive educational reform which must begin with a policy reform that tackles the chronic underinvestment in the education sector. Adding to that, the government and the private sector must work as a partners to provide quality education, especially primary education to all the school-going citizens. It is a long-term process which requires effort from each one of us as individuals too, to work towards a quality education system along with providing the youth with hope, our undivided attention and unwavering belief in their potential. Education is not only crucial for mitigating the socio-economic issues, it is most important for psychological reasons too, as it helps to make you feel worthwhile, gives a boost to morale, and builds confidence and perseverance.